Lynchy, Saturday night, it was a game that maybe a few teams around the league would have been watching and hoping that maybe would have dropped a point or two, but we didn't. We got the 2 points and it was another good performance.
Yeah, really good performance. Barring a little 5-6 minute sort of spell towards the end of the second period, I thought we really played great. Controlled the first period, played well for, like I say, 15 minutes in the second. Switched off a little bit towards the end, but then came out in the third period, had a great period to win it 3-0. All round, you can't ask for much better than that, and it was great to come back down the road with 2 points.
And I don't know, I kind of felt, Lynchy, that maybe last year these kind of games that, when how we lost the 2 goals going at the last 5 minutes of the period or whatever, we went in 3-2 going at that third period, we would have probably maybe lost that game, but I feel that there's maybe it's a wee bit different this year. The boys came out flying in that third period and, finished the game off.
We've said before, there's definitely a different feel to things this year. Guys are a lot more zoned in. I think finishing second 3 years in a row will do that to you. Don't know if I agree that, I think we've been in situations before where we've given up a couple of goals towards the end of a period and still come back and won the game. But I know where you're coming from. But yeah, there's definitely a different feel and a different mentality in the dressing room now. And even at the end of the second period, when we knew things weren't going our way those last 5 or 6 minutes, there was no panic, there was no arguing, no falling out. It was just a case of, let's get back to doing what makes us successful, and which we did. So, like I say, it was a good all-round performance, and it was another really big 2 points for us.
So that's us now 11 games in a row we've won, including that Scottish Cup game, but 10 in the league. There's a lot of confidence in that room just now, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a lot of confidence, but nobody's getting carried away yet. There's still 2 or 3 teams that are really close to us, and I think if we're aware that if we're to drop a couple of points here and there over the next few games, it blows everything wide open. It's still wide open, to be fair, but if we were to drop some points along the way, we know we're back in a dogfight where we're enjoying the fact we've got a little bit of a cushion now, albeit a small one. So we just keep looking at the next game, and nothing more than that at this stage.
On Saturday night, I thought there was a number of top performances for the guys. The whole team actually. Nobody let us down. But one guy that we've maybe not really spoke about much this season yet, but he maybe goes under the radar a little bit, but definitely not in the group, is Sean Stewart. I just think he's been a great addition to our defensive lineup.
Definitely doesn't go under the radar in the dressing room. I think everybody saw Sean's value to the team, or Sean's worth to the team, the minute he kind of arrived and played in those first couple of games against Sheffield, and he's just been getting better and better every game. I think throughout Sean's career in Canada, he's probably been used to being a 5th or 6th defenceman on most of the teams he's played on. But here we're asking him to do a little bit more, and we're starting to see a little bit of offence from him now, which wasn't so forthcoming in the first 3 or 4 games. But he's growing into the league, he's growing into the team, and he's been a great signing, really valuable addition. And to be honest, we expect him to keep improving as the season goes on.
And another guy who I thought was very good on Saturday night, and he's really stepped up recently, is Cammy Gallagher. He slotted into that third line on Saturday along with Philly and Scott Mackay, and he really put a shift in.
Yeah, Cammy's really starting to give us headaches, because we're at the stage now where we can't not put him on the ice. His work rate is fantastic, and he's getting a lot of success and getting a lot of opportunities from a great work ethic. Not just in games, but in practice as well. He's getting his head down, and there's some games he gets regular shifts. There's some games he's maybe getting a little bit limited ice time still. But certainly Chad and I nowadays have absolute confidence in putting Cammy on the ice, knowing that he's going to do a job for us. I think Cammy was a bit of a project 4 seasons ago when the Caps got up and running again. But like I say, he's putting his head down, he's doing the hard work, he's listening, and he's not making any mistakes when we put him out on the ice defensively, and he's threatening to pop one in the net now and again as well, at the other end of the ice. So, it's great to see. I think last week I made the mistake of calling Cammy one of the young guys still. He's not one of the young guys anymore. He's 21. He was one of the young guys when we got going again a few years ago. But he's definitely maturing into a really dependable, hard-working player for us.
So this weekend it's a Sunday night game. We head down to Dumfries to face the Solway Sharks, a team we faced in the opening night. We won 4-1 that night, but it was fairly probably dominant performance, but they've definitely improved.
It was a pretty dominant performance, but you can't take anything for granted. You know, they've sprung a couple of surprises this season already. I think, was it Whitley Bay went there and lost 2-1. So, you know, we can't go there thinking it's going to be easy. They've got a good goalie. They've got 3 or 4, you know, good young players. They've got 3 or 4 experienced players that they've brought back into the team to help the young ones along. And, you know, and they've brought in 3 or 4 other players from around, you know, around the leagues and things like that to make, you know, to make them competitive. And they will be competitive. It's going to be one of those nights, I think, where if we play to our capabilities, I don't think we'll have too many problems. If we go down there thinking it's going to be an easy night, you know, we could be in for a surprise, and we don't want that to happen.
And just finally, Lynch, last week, our tickets for Hogmanay Hockey, they went on sale, and you know we're aiming this year. We want to try and sell out the building. We had, I think, 2,500 here last year, so we want to give it a big push. But it seems to be the place to be on New Year's Eve during the day, isn't it? And we'll be looking for another massive crowd.
The guys all love the game. It's a great way to start, you know, the Hogmanay celebrations, coming here to watch a game of hockey. Yeah, the crowds the last 3 years have got a little bit bigger year on year. So yeah, we want to try and eclipse that a little bit this year. We want to try and sell this place out. I'm not sure if it's ever actually been sold out. Maybe once or twice back in the day, I don't know. But we want to give it a go. You know, and the guys would love to see 3,000 people in this rink, and I think it's doable. You know, it's got, you know, a little bit of marketing, a little bit of PR and things like that, but I think it's definitely doable. But to see this place rocking with 3,000 people in it on New Year's Eve would be pretty amazing, and one that we hope's going to come off.
Can't believe we're talking about Hogmanay Hockey already.
I know, feels like the season just started.
I know. Well, listen, all the best this Sunday night, and we'll catch up again next week.
Okay, cheers, Mark.
Ben, it's been a while since we spoke with you on Caps TV. You've had a full season out with injury, but you're back now. How's it been?
It's been good. The boys are doing really well, and it's good to be back after a year out.
It's been a bit of a stop-start season for you, isn't it? You played the first few games, you then got that 5-game suspension, but obviously happy now to be back in about it.
Oh, of course. You know, I was excited to get back to it. You know, after being out for so long last year, and then obviously that happened. But it's good to get a run of games in now and get back to it. Missed being in the change room with the boys, and it's good to get back in and have the banter with the boys.
And has it been easier slotting back in? Obviously, you know, we're on a good run, the boys are confident. Does it make it that wee bit easier just to, you know, come in and probably, you know, not even be noticed? If I didn't mean that in a bad way, you know what I mean? But you've just kind of slipped back in there.
Oh, you know, last year, even though I was injured, I tried to be around the change room as much as I can, but then actually kitting up now, and especially with the boys performing the way it is, it's so much easier. You know, boys are enjoying themselves, everyone's having a laugh. It's easy to slip in.
So last Saturday there, Ben, we headed up to Aberdeen. It's always a tough place to go, but we put in a really solid performance and we came away with the 2 points.
Overall, the team's performance was good. Maybe bar 10 minutes in the second period. Apart from that, you know, you were dominant, we were really good, and you know, the result showed.
And as you said there, it was probably maybe a kind of poor 10 minutes at the end of the second period. They got a couple of goals, but you know, credit to you and the boys. You came out flying in that third period and, you know, killed the game off.
We know how important, especially that fixture is. You know, that bus journey going up. Plus, we knew we had an eye on what fixtures was going on elsewhere in the league, and we knew we had to, in order for us to continue this run, we had to really stamp authority and, you know, come out with a win in that game.
So this Sunday we're heading to a familiar place for you. We're going to Solway to play the Sharks down in Dumfries, so, you know, a place that you played before you signed with the club. You be looking forward to going back? I
am. It's just another fixture. It doesn't really matter who we're playing against, but it'll be good to see some familiar faces.
So a lot of the Sharks team that, you know, you played with, you know, a number of them are actually playing with the Sharks now in the SNL, but does that make it a wee bit tougher?
No, I wouldn't say tougher, no. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like if you're playing against your pals, you actually try a wee bit harder, you know, just to get one up them. So I would say it's not a bigger challenge. It's just it gives you that bit of extra grit, you know, to want to beat them even more.
So the Sharks, we played them our first game of the season here. We beat them 6-1, and you know I think we kind of dominated that game. But we always knew that the players that they had, they were going to get better as the seasons went on. And already I think they beat Whitley at home there. They beat them 2-1, and they just came up short there on Sunday night against Kirkcaldy. They lost 2-1 there. I think 2 late goals for the Kestrels. So it's got to be a tough game. We need to turn up.
You know, if you look at the roster, you know, they've got very experienced players and like very good players as well, and you can't go without mentioning Harry Campbell. He's amazing, so that does help them, but that doesn't mean we have to change our game plan. You know, we need to just go in there, play our game, win the game, and up the road.
As you there, that was my next question there, Ben. You've stole it off me. But Harry Campbell, you know, we've seen him here a number of times. Solway at the start of the game, but he's played against us with Kilmarnock a number of times, and every game he seems to be brilliant. And we're going to have to obviously beat him to win this game.
He's a good goalie, but that doesn't mean he's unbeatable. You know, he does put in good performances, but he's like, at the end of the day, we still need to beat him. And I think us and Solway will have in the back of our heads that we've already beat them, so which we should use to advantage. But I can't take away from him. He's a good goalie, but we can still score past him.
No bother. Well, listen, all the best for Sunday night, and hopefully we make it 11 out of 11 in the league.
Of course. Cheers, Euston.